Well, as of right now, guys, it looks like we are going to penalties. We've got about 4 minutes. Let me go ahead and show you what's going on right now. So about 4 minutes or so, we've got a free kick. I wanted to hit record now in case something happens because, of course, it'll be a huge moment. But also, why not capture the penalties live? It's been ages since I did that. And I'll talk about the game, of course, maybe after the result because I want to watch the game and focus. Oh, my God, Gabriel. Wow. What a save from Adan. You could argue he has probably won them this game if they go through because the amount of saves he's made today, the one that he tipped onto the post from Trossard, just unbelievable. But, I mean, this, Gonçalves, the goal he scored, a freak of nature that. 999 times out of 1,000, that's flying out of the stadium. And he's chipped it to perfection over Ramsdale. And, yeah, just an absolutely incredible goal. Oh! Is that over the line? We almost scored again. And now Sporting are on the break. Oh, no. I hate this. I hate this. Oh, he's made a heavy touch. Unlucky, mate. Honestly, there have been periods in this game where I think Arsenal have been quite poor, actually, and not our usual selves, not dominating possession, not fluid. You know. Oh, hang on. What's going on here? There's a red card. I'm sorry. I'm so confused. I think it's Ugarte, is it? He's just gone in late on Saka. Yeah, it's a second yellow. I like him, by the way, Ugarte. This guy, very good. Is he Uruguayan? I think he's actually had a very solid game up until the red card. But, of course, with 2 minutes left, it's not really going to matter. But, yeah, as I was saying, we haven't really had a typical Arsenal performance, you know, today. We've had portions of the game where we've done better. I think extra time has been all Arsenal. But the majority of the second half of normal time, bad. Honestly, bad. You know, and we're lucky that Sporting weren't able to take advantage and score a couple of goals. But here we are with a couple of minutes left until we go into penalties. And do you know what? I'm feeling quietly confident. We've got some great penalty kick takers, although Jorginho won't be allowed to take one. He was taken off, of course. And can I just say as well, Ødegaard has come on in extra time, and what a difference. I think we can all agree that Ødegaard is better than Vieira. We can all agree, right? But there's levels to this game, and there's one word that springs to mind, and I'm obsessed with this word at the moment, and that is scanning. Players that scan, constantly doing this before they receive the ball, checking around them. When they get the ball, checking again. Ødegaard is an absolute genius at scanning, and I believe there was a piece on it. I think they talked about how good Ødegaard is at scanning, and there's very few players that you can see doing it as much as he does. I remember Xavi from Barcelona, Iniesta being absolutely incredible at this. If you don't know what's going on around you, you're not going to make the best decisions, are you? You need to know where the players are. Not just your own teammates, but the opposition. You know, you need to make sure that you've got the space that you need, finding and picking out passes. And the referee looks absolutely mad right now. He's fuming with one of the Sporting bench members or staff or whatever. But yeah, I noticed it a lot with Vieira. He was scanning. I think all players scan. It's a natural thing. You want to look around, obviously. But some players do it to such a higher level. And I think that's what will help Vieira. Obviously, bulking up in the gym would help a lot. He's quite a weak player. He's not the most physical. Hitting the gym will help, but yeah, I see that's the major difference between Ødegaard and Vieira. It's that intelligence. It's the awareness. We are throwing the kitchen sink at this at the moment. We've got 20 seconds left. Saka's got it out wide. He's onside. Gives it to Ødegaard. Cross comes in. Oh my God. Well, I guess that's going to be it. So before we go into penalties, let's have a look at the stats in this game. And by the way, I was really sad that we couldn't see Hector Bellerin in either of these games. I think he would have got a really good reception. Gabriel was offside in that, by the way, so it wouldn't have counted. Yeah, do you know what? Pretty even stats. You know, if you read into expected goals, which I don't really, it's a cool stat to look at, obviously, and it does say, you know, how many shots you've had and how maybe over 1,000 types of that shot, how many would go in typically, and then you can kind of correlate it and see how well your team performed in front of goal. But in general, it is just a stat. I've seen 7-0 wins with 2 expected goals. I've seen a 1-0 loss and you've got 6 expected goals. It obviously doesn't mean anything. You need to score the goals. That's all that matters. Sorry, Michael Owen moment. But yeah, we've had the lion's share of big chances, but very even stats. I've been very impressed with Sporting. I think they're a very good side, and their manager, I do know his name, I just don't want to get it wrong. Ruben Amorim. A lot of the Portuguese press claiming that he could be the next big thing. A lot of talk that he's right up there with Mourinho, for example, in terms of the future he's got in management. And he seems to have got them playing very, very nice football. Huge fan of Saint Just, or Juiced. Literally juiced with a C. He is so quick. It's ridiculous. He's an Olympic sprinter. And the amount of times that Martinelli got in behind but couldn't do anything because he's just on him. Big fan of Diomande as well. I think he's had a very solid game. And Inacio was obviously great in the first leg and had a good game today. We can all talk about that goal from Gonçalves, but just go and watch the replay. I can't do it justice. It's a ridiculously good goal. Jesus starting today. I heard he was only going to get 60 minutes, so getting pulled off at half-time, not a surprise. He looks quite good, actually, considering he hasn't played properly in 3-4 months. Obviously, the match sharpness isn't there, but when that comes back, he's going to be brilliant for us. I mean, he had a few moments. He could have easily scored tonight. Again, I want to talk about Jorginho briefly, because the pass that set us up for the goal, genuinely a breathtaking pass, and I'm absolutely in love with Jorginho. And I never thought I would say that, because I don't want to say that I didn't think the signing was good, because I agreed with it at the time. It's a good signing for the position we're in, the situation we're in, but it wasn't an exciting signing. It's not one for the future, is it? But he's done so well, and Trossard as well, of course. Both fantastic signings. But I think my man of the match, genuinely, might be going to Ramsdale or Adan, depending on who wins. Both goalkeepers have had to be at their absolute best today. No blame to Ramsdale on the goal they scored, because most keepers are slightly off their line these days. They need to be proactive, receiving the ball, starting the possession-based game that we play. And it could have happened to any goalkeeper. It doesn't matter how good you are. Looking at the replay, though, I will say, this might be really harsh. I think he could have got to it. He kind of... He turned and obviously looked at how far away the goal was. And I think that really slowed him down. He took a few shorter steps. But of course, I mean, safety comes first. He doesn't want to go running into the post and giving himself concussion. So no blame to Ramsdale, but otherwise he has made some big saves today. So I'm going to call it now. If Arsenal go through on penalties, Ramsdale is my man of the match. And then if Sporting go through, Adan for sure gets man of the match. He was, or has been, incredible. But of course, it's going to come down to the goalkeepers. Let me go ahead and do full cam here. No point looking at that while penalties are going on. It seems like the referee's going to be doing the toss now. Who's got the best kick takers? I think you'd have to go with Arsenal, wouldn't you? Although it's a very young squad. I think that the Sporting squad is relatively young as well. There's a lot of talk going on between staff on the bench. I don't really know what's going on here. Jesus getting involved. I've got to say, this referee has had a very awkward night. First of all, in the first half, right, there was a moment where Zinchenko was on the edge of the box and was in quite a good position to maybe set up a chance or have a shot. And the referee literally stood in front of him and didn't move. That is simply not good enough positioning, is it? I get he needs to be close to the box. I think it was a corner. And then he did the same thing in the second half. He's just in the way. Get out the way. And the amount of times he blew his whistle today, unnecessarily, just let the game flow. And actually, I want to put a portion of the blame on the referee for the fact that we just couldn't get going tonight, because it was such stop-start. And it's really, really frustrating. And of course, the injuries to Tomiyasu and Saliba, huge moments in the game. We weren't even 20 minutes in and we'd lost 2 defenders, and that really upsets the flow of the team, the system. And, you know, we would have been training for a few days with this game in mind, maybe with this lineup in mind, and it really does affect the team. So hopefully they're both okay. Obviously, Saliba is, I think, a little bit more important than Tomiyasu. So it does seem to be his lower back, which is concerning because back injuries, they don't heal quickly. You kind of need your back to move. But then again, if it was like a hammy or something, you could argue it'd be even worse. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I'm sure we'll get the typical, I don't have any information tonight. We'll see. That's what Arteta will say after the game. Anyway, finally, 10 minutes into this video, we are getting into the penalties. It's actually St. Just who is stepping up first. Genuinely very impressed with him. I know he had a spell in both the Netherlands and then in Germany. He's found himself at Sporting, and honestly, wouldn't surprise me if he gets another big move. I think unfortunately, it's pace. You can get out of anything with pace. Bellerin, I mentioned him. Prime example of a player that might not be the best, but when he had his pace before his injury, he got away with everything. And that is a stunning penalty. And Sporting score their first one. Okay, come on, Ramsdale. Not really known for his penalty saves, but I don't know how many he's actually faced in his Arsenal career or in his career in general. This is where you want Martinez. Can we have Emmy back just for 10 minutes? Right, Martin Ødegaard stepping up. I've got a really bad feeling about this. Captain, one of our best players this season. And I'm going to use this opportunity to say, if we get knocked out, I'm not actually going to be too upset because I think most Arsenal fans would agree we would give up this competition if it meant we had a better chance of winning the Premier League. Ødegaard steps up. Oh, that is dirty. A good amount of power, but he just places it into the corner. Very, very nice. 1-1. Sent the keeper the wrong way. Very, very good penalty. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Okay, the Sporting manager is not watching, by the way, whereas Arteta is, and he's celebrating a lot right now. What kind of manager would you guys be? I'd be watching it. You can't not watch it. I know it's a stressful situation, and let's be fair, this means a lot more to Sporting, I think, than Arsenal right now. Oh, Ramsdale should have saved this one. Sporting have scored again, but I've got to be honest. Bit of a slow reaction. Maybe that's just me. Not sure about that one. It was quite close to him. I feel like he should probably be saving that. By the way, I've just seen Saliba is standing with all his teammates and stuff, and he doesn't look like he's injured, if you know what I mean. He's not on crutches or anything, so that's definitely a good sign. Now it's time for Saka. Absolute hero. I love Saka, as you can see. I've got a signed shirt from last season. Come on, Saka. He has a history of penalties, of course. One big miss. He scored so many, though. And he scores another one. Very, very good penalty. I was just thinking, though, if Jorginho was still on the pitch, obviously he would be one of our first takers. And it's easy to forget how many big penalties he scored for Chelsea. So that's a big miss. Great pen, though. And by the way, I don't want Arsenal to go out. I just want to make that clear. I'm just saying if it was to happen, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it because it would technically be an advantage for our Premier League run-in. Okay, I think that's Inacio up next. And my watch is going mad. Bukayo scores. Yes! Oh, no! Ramsdale! Oh! I think he's had a shocker there. He has. I mean, it's so difficult. I'm sitting in my office chair complaining about a penalty that he's conceded. The ball's hit his hand and gone in. And I'm thinking, oh, you should have a stronger hand. But come on, that is such a difficult thing to do. So I'm not going to judge too hard, but he should have saved 2 now, I think. It is Trossard up next. The January signing of the season, if you ask me. 1 goal, 5 assists so far for his new club. Here we go. He looks calm. Scores. Poor penalty, though. The keeper should have saved it. Woo! We got a bit lucky there. It's gone underneath the keeper, I think. I wish I could show you. I wish copyright laws weren't a thing. I would love to show the footage whilst I'm here, but obviously I can't do that. You just have to look at my ugly mug and hear my reactions to it live. So it's 3 taken each, 3 goals each. So far, the story has been underperforming goalkeepers, despite all the praise I was giving them during the 90 minutes and extra time. Up next, Sporting with their 4th kick. I'm going to have to say it again. I think Ramsdale should be saving that. I really do. That gets worse every time I look at it. Oh my God. Am I being harsh? I feel like you should have saved 3 in a row now. We'd be through. Okay. Time for Martinelli. Hasn't really put a foot wrong today. I think he's actually been okay, considering most of our players have had average performances today. Oh, I hate penalties so much. Come on, Gabby. Saved. Saved by Adan. So now Sporting have a chance to win it. Not the best penalty, but it's a good save. Let's have a look at the replay. Oh. It's just hard and low, but not far in the corner enough. It's technically, I think, statistically, the easiest type of penalty to save when you hit it there. Well, this is it, guys. To win it and to send Arsenal out, Ramsdale needs to make a save here, or the Sporting player needs to miss. I don't know who's taking it. We're out. Oh, man, that is disappointing. Fair play to Sporting, though. They really, really brought it to us. They were fantastic tonight. I want to see the replay of that because, again, I don't want to sound harsh, but I feel like Ramsdale was right there. But yeah, full credit to Sporting. We didn't show up enough today. We had some decent moments, but in general, I would say Sporting deserved to go through. And we do need to look at the positives here. We now have a lot less games on our plate. We have, I mean, if we were to go all the way and win this competition, we're looking at what? 2, 4, 5 games. Big games. Quarters, semis, final. And now full focus will be on the Premier League. And that is, of course, what we really want. We're going to get Champions League football regardless. Obviously, though, winning the Europa League would have been really nice. And we could have done it. We could have got the double. But wasn't to be. I'm going to go ahead and say this now. Ramsdale disappointing in the penalties. Adan wins it for Sporting, really, with the save from Martinelli. Thank you for watching, guys. Arsenal out of the Europa League.